All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Victoria, and I'm the head of support and onboarding for PunchPass. So I'm so excited to have everyone here, and anyone who's joining us afterwards with the recording, that's perfectly fine, but we're excited to talk about the concept of creating new revenue streams for your business, building on your own momentum, giving yourself and your business more to offer, and therefore more room to grow in terms of your revenue, making a little bit more money in maybe a couple different ways. So pretty excited to talk about it. If you have questions, just confirm chat is open and ready. So feel free to write in. We'll definitely handle questions at the end, but feel free to write in anytime. As always, please, if you do need to jump off, if you've signed up for the webinar, then we will be sending you the recording afterwards. So no problems there. And thanks again for joining us. So a little overview about the concept of revenue streams and what we're looking to do here. A lot of times when small businesses get started, they have, really clear vision of what in particular they're looking to offer. And usually people really kind of focus in on their specific, the thing that they love and the thing that they're passionate about and what they want to offer classes in. And that's amazing. Obviously, that's phenomenal. And a lot of you are doing that amazing work for your community. But there's opportunities that maybe we're missing out on by not thinking about how we can diversify our offerings. And this doesn't necessarily have to be class related, but it certainly could be. We have a lot of different ways to talk about, different offerings that you could explore and consider. But basically, it's the idea of not really putting all of our eggs in one basket. The idea is, diversifying what you have to offer and what you're doing for your business is going to give you an edge and an advantage. One option is, one reason to diversify your offerings is because this can expand your audience. So if you look around at your classes and you look at what you're doing and your regulars, people who come to your classes, if it's a lot of people from the same demographic, the same age range, you might be missing out on a lot of other people who might be, a good fit for coming to your studio, but maybe it's just not the right fit in terms of the classes that you're offering. And maybe there's ways that you can reach different target demographics through different offerings. By offering a lot of different things, it gives you the option to sort of pick up slack. So where one area might be kind of slowing down or going through a rougher patch, there's other offerings and there's other things going on that help pick up the slack. So it's not everything kind of waiting on one thing. We've got a lot of different things doing the work for us. So we kind of have a little bit more security. And similarly, this allows us to not only survive, but potentially thrive through some uncertainty, through some difficult times. Certainly our industry has seen a lot of that lately. And there's different ways that we can diversify that will make it possible to kind of handle different waves that may come our way. And there's also obviously there's the opportunity to have some more reliable income based on the way that we offer ways to pay, and also some bigger paydays as well. So you might have your kind of steady stream of revenue, what you kind of usually expect, and then you might be able to offer things that kind of allow you to kind of cash a big check at the end of the month. And that could be a really nice thing to save for a rainy day, or to be able to use that to invest in your business or invest in other things you'd like to be doing. So there's a lot of reasons to diversify, but there's also a lot of different ways to do it. And you might not want to take all of the examples that we're offering today, but hopefully it kind of gives you an opportunity to brainstorm and think a little bit more about what you're doing and where else you might be able to expand. So one of the biggest, kind of most consistent revenue streams that a lot of people in our industry look for and like to promote are memberships. So there's a stability there and a reliability there because you're going to have a consistent revenue stream basically from your members. So you can kind of expect how many members you have, what the price of their membership is. You sort of expect to see that income every month. we definitely recommend here at Punch Pass to consider tiered offerings. So by giving people different levels of memberships, it's a lot easier to get people to commit to a membership to get started. And there's also the opportunity to upsell your existing members. So people on a certain membership, it might be, exciting to kind of talk to them about moving to the next level, to take more classes and get more involved and essentially pay a little bit more. And that's the upsell option when you have tiered levels of memberships. And the great thing about memberships is that they're really reliable benefits for everybody involved. A lot of times customers are not looking to constantly have to grab their credit card and pay for every individual class or keep track of how many punches they have left perhaps, and just feeling the comfort and consistency of, I have my membership, it recurs on this day. I know that happens every time and I don't have to really worry about it or think about it. I just get to book my classes. And obviously for the studio owner, you're going to have a consistent revenue stream for you to rely upon. So kind of nice. And here I kind of walked through one of the most popular versions of tiered memberships that we often see at Punch Pass. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to myself via video, and we'll see kind of a way to set up membership tiers.
What's a really popular membership option is to create different levels of memberships or tiers. So your customers can go up or down depending on what they're looking to do. So very popular ones are something like 4 times monthly. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set up the price, and you can select or deselect the option to allow customers to cancel the membership themselves. A very popular option for the number of times a membership is charged is renew until canceled. Or if you're having a set number of months, you could do that, or number of times the membership is renewed. And then we'll set the length. And here I'm going to go to 1 month for monthly membership. As it's a punch card, we're giving them 4 per month. And you can adjust the eligible classes. We'll go ahead and click save. And then we're going to create another option. So we have 4 times a month membership. Let's make an 8 times a month membership. Set that up so that, it gives people, different levels, different options. How often do you attend? And, something where you could really easily sell someone on the first level of the membership to get started, just kind of give them an easy entryway. And then that way you can say, start here, and then we can move up. So for instance, if the 4 times a month, they find themselves paying for a bunch of drop-ins, might want to suggest moving to the 8 times a month. And then of course, one of our most popular memberships is unlimited monthly. So for this one, we can set that up, renew until canceled. Again, same kind of settings. But this one is going to be unlimited. So this could be your top tier of membership. And that way you have a place to go. You have a place to upsell your customers as they keep attending classes and promote the different offerings for memberships.
So just a little bit of information about how the memberships work and how to set them up. And again, some really popular numbers that we see in terms of what's kind of regular. What do you see an average Punch Pass user set up and offer on the recurring membership level? So we're going to go ahead and move to our next conversation about revenue streams. This is an opportunity to really expand our reach when we talk about different class types. So, you might have your sort of bread and butter classes, but there might be other things around what you offer that you could also consider doing. Things like conditioning or stretching could really work for almost any fitness professional. And that could be, additional offerings for existing clients, or it could be something where, someone who's interested, but maybe not so sure about your regular group class, they might say like, this is an easy kind of start area. We also, Punch Pass, love talking about the different themed classes that we see as we check out, what everyone has to offer, who's using Punch Pass. Just a way to kind of change up the vibe and the energy and, kind of get people excited. And we'll give you some examples shortly. There's also a way to, by creating different kinds of class types that you can really focus on a niche audience and maybe again expand and diversify your client base as well. So that could be something like, focusing on or giving offerings. Maybe it's similar to what you currently do, but maybe it's specifically for a senior class or specifically for a class for people who are postpartum or prenatal. So people in different phases of their life, and kind of focusing on them might expand your reach. And then it's also great to think about adjusting your class types and giving different options in terms of commitment or access. So something a little shorter, maybe like a lunchtime, quick 30-minute session, even though it's not maybe that different from your regular class, you're able to kind of cut it down, pare it down so that it works for people with different schedules who might not be available for your regular group classes. And there's a lot of different ways to think about how to change up your offerings. Certainly looking into a new instructor or bringing in a guest instructor is a great opportunity to diversify. Something to think about, obviously as you're maybe looking to expand what you're looking to do, you might want to look for instructors who offer something that you don't currently offer, who aren't exactly, sort of a mirror image of what you have to offer, but someone who's bringing something else to the table, so that you're not just making more of the same classes, you're adding more different classes. So you could just be hitting a totally different audience. You could definitely get into kind of more nitty-gritty stuff with what you're doing. So maybe you have your general classes, and then you have more special technique classes focused on, again, kind of more about the form or the practice that you're offering. So people who get really into it might want to come and hang out at those classes. Shifting up your style and changing it up, themes. We always love seeing an 80s themed event at any of the studios who work with us. That's always fun. But yeah, you could do decades, you could do type of music, you could do, just a particular, seasonal theme and sort of change it up, or maybe it's a monthly theme. And that's kind of the energy or the style of what you're doing in your classes and how that can work. And definitely, we love seeing people really bring, different styles of music to their classes, because yeah, if you're really just focused on a certain type of music and it's kind of the same thing for all of your classes, that might be limiting yourself. So by maybe occasionally doing a special class that's, hey, we usually do top 40, but we're going to do country playlist this week, or we're going to do, classic rock workout night. You can do a lot of different things with music and just kind of maybe hit a different crowd, or you might find that some of your regulars are just even more jazzed and willing to bring some friends along because this is their favorite variety of music. So something to think about, especially if you've got your own music tastes, but there's some other things out there that could be fun. Just change it up and breathe a little fresh air into things. Now, if we're focusing on expanding your options, a big one that's been obviously very popular more recently is giving you online content by providing classes that are recorded or classes that are done live via Zoom. This has definitely expanded a lot of our users' experience, and a lot of people have stuck with it and continue to offer this. And there's a lot of good reasons why. Definitely an opportunity to expand your audience to people who are not either within, commute distance to your location, or it could be people who just really aren't able to access you in person. And so there's just a lot of reasons why they might not be able to do it. But by giving them some online content, they can still be a customer of yours and still get involved. One of the big reasons is because a lot of people have busy schedules, and this isn't just your customers. Your instructors probably have some schedule restrictions as well. You might have an instructor who really can only teach on Wednesdays at 4:45, and maybe that's just not going to hit with every single person, and that just, their in-person class might be a little harder for people to get to, but by recording it, by making it available online, that might be a way that you can boost your revenue in terms of offering the classes online and recorded, especially because the revenue doesn't have to be tied to attendance. You don't need them to show up. You don't need them to technically click play. They're paying for access to recordings, and that is really nice to kind of rely on people to to continue to pay and get access. But in terms of their own attendance and how they attend these online classes is really up to them and balls in their court. And that's why it's really a nice membership opportunity. Again, this is different than an in-person class. So I really wanted to show how you would set that up and what that would look like, because I think that that's really the most successful way we've seen people leverage online content, for a small business, especially a small fitness studio. Let's take a look.
One of our most popular options for offering online recordings is to offer this via a membership payment. So if you're offering online classes and you want to have people pay for them, a great option is to set up a membership so that customers can get access to your recordings, and then they just pay for recurring access. This is maybe a good one to think about giving them the option to cancel it themselves, or you can uncheck this and allow them to contact you if they wish to cancel. We'll set the payment. So this could be something probably a little bit less than your regular, memberships that might be for in-person classes. But you can set that up to, what makes sense for you per payment. I'll click renew until canceled, although you could certainly sell something for a set amount of time. And we'll go ahead and set this for monthly. When it comes to the type of pass, punch card or unlimited, this isn't super relevant because this is it's not a credits for classes or attendance, and we're going to make sure that's not available to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to deselect or clear all of eligible classes because we don't want them to use this for access to classes. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Once I have this set up, you'll notice up at the top, we have an option that says content collections. And here's where I'm going to make the eligibility possible. So I can say, set the collections in my library and give them access based on this membership. So if they're paying for this membership, they regularly have this membership, they'll get access to these collections of videos. And so I'll add and upload new videos every month, just to keep giving them new access to more information. More videos that they can access. But again, they're paying for access. They're not paying per activity or per video. So it's a consistent, you can kind of count on revenue without having to worry about attendance.
So yeah, I think that's kind of key here. A lot of times we don't see a lot of big numbers in terms of people paying for an individual video or really necessarily even clicking on an individual video, but getting access to a library, getting access to collections can be a really nice feature that people like having. And by not making the pricing too outrageous for online content, might be something they're just willing to keep doing as they want access. They want to access it when they're ready and when they want to go take those classes.
One of our most
So we're also going to talk about some other kind of maybe outside the box options or options that you might be checking out, but maybe ways to think about them a little bit differently with retail sales. So it's an opportunity to really get your brand out there, and it's another way to sell something that's not the same as just your regular classes and passes. So very popular option is to offer fitness equipment. So if you're purchasing tools and props and different things that you might need for your classes, purchasing a few extra and having them available for sale is going to be great. And that can work really nicely with your online offerings. So, hey, you might not be able to attend in person, but if you have this, this weight or this yoga block or this band at home, it might make, your classes a lot easier to do online, and just have them in your house. And then definitely love some branded merch and some swag. It's just an opportunity for your customers to support you, and as well as repping your brand outside of the studio, and kind of getting your name and your logo out there, kind of turns your regulars or your people who've purchased into a bit of a walking advertisement for you. And who doesn't like that? And then it also could be considered a convenience for your clients. So there are certain things that you might want to have available for sale at your studio in case someone is a little forgetful and forgot something, and well, I still want to go to class, but I don't have that thing, but I'll be willing to pay for it. And then and get the branded water bottle, and I'm still supporting the business. And yeah, maybe it would have been convenient if I brought my own, but I forgot, and now I have an option. I'm not sort of out of luck. And that could be for yoga mats, that could be for water bottles, that could be for apparel, things that people might need for the class. And should they happen to forget it, they can purchase a nice branded option from you. The water bottle is a great one, super convenient and kind of one size fits all. So you don't have to worry about holding a lot of different types. You can kind of get one and just have a bunch of them and be ready to sell when people ask or when they need. I mean, apparel can just be great because it's something that they can really rep outside of the studio and put that out there, and could even be helpful for what, if they forgot something and need something like a t-shirt or a fitness tank or something in the studio, they have it. Similarly, purchasing props, like we said, like yoga mats is a great one. You could certainly look into getting different things branded, or it could just be hey, not only do we offer these classes with these tools, you can also buy those tools and use them at home. And I'm a big fan of stickers. I think they're a great merch opportunity because, one, they're fairly inexpensive. Two, it allows your customers to brand what they want to brand. So maybe they have their own water bottle and they love their own water bottle. It's their own, but they want to put a sticker on it, so they still rep your brand. That's really great. And then you might have, stickers for purchase. You could also, depending on how inexpensive or what you're looking to offer, look at stickers for free, so that people can take them and put them up places, maybe a public area where people are putting a lot of stickers, and that way people can see it. Maybe have not just your logo, but your website or a QR code on the sticker, so that people can look you up and they see your sticker around, they see your logo around, and they start to recognize you, and you get that kind of brand recognition. That can be so helpful in terms of getting people to check you out. New clients all the time, maybe just because they saw your very cool sticker out and about. So love merchant retail. I think it's a great way to kind of get your name and your brand out there. Now, we talked a lot about, some consistent payments, experiencing some reliable revenue streams, but there's also the nice opportunity to think about focusing on these sort of limited options that then become a little exciting and an opportunity to charge a premium. So when we're looking at events, you kind of get that don't miss out on this opportunity feeling. Maybe there's a limited number of spots. Maybe there's something that you're probably only going to do once because this instructor that you're hiring or that you're collaborating with is only in town on vacation, and it's just worked out perfectly. Kind of gives that, fear of missing out, need to participate, and a desire to jump in. Especially for these kind of events or series, you can certainly look at premium pricing. So these are going to be more expensive than your regular classes. They're going to be special, and you're probably not going to want to maybe just accept a membership. So even though you have that great recurring revenue, you also, for special events and different things you're looking to offer, get additional revenue just through these opportunities. Something that we know is extremely lucrative is offering instructor training at your location. So setting up like an instructor training course that you can teach, or that someone on your team could teach, is not only something that you can still charge premium for, but it's also potentially a nice way to kind of start building a resource of potential instructors or substitutes, or people who could come on board at your studio in the future. And then, of course, yeah, special guests are a great way to get people excited about coming in and experiencing something different, but at your studio. So even though it might be someone who's not a regular, it might be someone who's never been in your space before, but they've heard about this person or they've heard about this event, and now they've stepped in your space and they might want to come back, even if, you know, that special guest is no longer there. So of course, special guest instructor is a great way to bring in some interest. But also along with that, you know, class content can be a huge part of this as well. A lot of times if you're bringing in somebody different, or maybe you're trying out a different type of class that you or your instructor would love to do, but you don't really have enough curriculum or feel like you have a lot to do something weekly. I actually took a partner yoga class around Valentine's Day last year. And I don't think it would really necessarily be something people would want to do weekly, but it was so fun. It was a packed house and it was a blast. So yeah, that kind of event felt special and fun and different, and yeah, it gets people excited. Of course, the limited availability is kind of one of those like, oh wow, this is happening this weekend and I want to be there and I don't want to miss it. So it adds that element to it. Even if you offer a lot of different types of events, usually you're probably not offering the same event every single month or even yearly. So kind of gives you that idea. And then location might be the reason that an event is special. Maybe you're doing something outdoors or in a cool new location, and that's part of the draw, right? That's like getting to do this somewhere that you don't usually do it. It makes it a little bit more fun and exciting, and again, could be a big draw. And another thing to think about is timing. So if you often have events at certain times of the day, maybe having a special event or workshop at night is kind of a cool idea, or like a sunrise event could be again, a way to make it special and different and not like your regular classes. So it really feels like it's special and worth the premium pricing by adding that little element of change. Makes it a little different. And then speaking of premium pricing and being able to charge a premium for what you're offering, definitely something to consider are private sessions, because it really is getting a lot for your money. When it comes to your pricing, you're usually looking at, the difference between the price of a drop-in group class versus a private class. Is usually 3 to 5 times as much, and could even go much further than that depending on what you're offering. But you definitely have the opportunity to charge a lot more. And it's a great way to kind of get your customers some specialized attention. So, someone who's looking for maybe like a jump start into it, they're not ready to, maybe they're not sure about coming to a regular class, but well, if they do a private session, they'll feel more comfortable. They'll been in the space, but they won't be worried about other people, and they'll feel like they're getting a lot for what they're paying. So yes, it is a higher price, but usually for a private session, you're going to see a lot of progress, especially with things like personal training. That's a huge part of the results aspect. And so, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there. It's also a great way to fill in your schedule. If you're really only offering group classes and, that's sort of your schedule, there's a lot of time where your studio might just be empty and there's nothing going on. And if your instructors have some random availability throughout the week, it might be a great way to just hey, if someone does book, then we're getting maybe 5 times as much as a group class, and it's just one instructor, 1 hour with one student. And that's a great way to kind of, again, add more potential revenue, and see a little bit more about what a small class or a private class can do for you. So I did want to kind of walk through the process of setting that up. So let's take a look.
If I want to set up personal training, I'm going to head to Manage Classes, and I'm going to go ahead and set up a new class type. So for private sessions, for personal training, whatever kind of one-on-one thing you might want to create here, we're going to go ahead and set that up, give it a name. We can include a reminder. We're definitely going to want to limit the number of reservations accepted. We're going to set that to 1. So that way we can make this so that only one person can book. You might want to allow a wait list depending on how you'd like to set that up. You can also enable this as an appointment, so we can make that available on a separate schedule from our regular schedule if we'd like. So we can have it on a regular schedule. If we have a bunch of them, we might want to push it to the appointment schedule, and I'll show you what that looks like shortly. So now that I have my class, again, setting up like a regular class, but with one student, I am going to maybe quickly adjust the eligible passes. So for instance, we might only want to make it eligible for our private session passes. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some times to our schedule. So maybe I offer this every weekday at 1 p.m. And I can set the start date. Maybe we'll start there. And we can set an end date or leave it open. Add the instructor, set a location if this is in studio here, and we'll go ahead and add the class time. As we've set this up as appointments, we'll see that it's now in a separate section in our classes page. And if we go to our schedule and check out our appointments, starting the following week, we'll see that they're now available. And that way customers can book. They'll see it on the appointment schedule. We're going to go back to our settings and head to public schedule, where if you scroll all the way down for the appointment button, you can name it whatever you like. So we might call this private sessions, and we'll go ahead and click save. And we're going to go to our public schedule to take a look. Here we have the private sessions tab, and we'll go ahead and see those available to book.
So with private sessions, it's a nice option, and yeah, you can have it on a separate schedule with the appointments feature, which I think is really great, especially if you have a lot of them. You might not want them mixed in with your group classes. You might want to have them on the separate offerings so that people who are specifically looking for the private sessions see that right at the top of your schedule, and that's where they'll go to find the times and book. And you can certainly set up private sessions for your, from the admin side of PunchPass. So if someone calls or you have a regular who is always in a private session at a certain time, you can set that up on the admin side of PunchPass. But being able to set up the schedule and allow people to book is great, especially as you can have your instructors receive an email notification about booking. So they'll see that and they'll know they have a class.
If I want,
so we'll keep going here. And another great way to kind of think about ways to expand your reach and maybe hit different opportunities is looking at finding some kind of partnership in your community where it's a really, it's a positive relationship. They get something, you get something out of it, and that can be really special and drive some revenue. So we'll definitely do some brainstorming as to who could fit, who might be a nice partnership for your particular organization. But looking around at different businesses in your area, finding people that have a similar energy or a similar sort of feeling about fitness and health, and maybe that's a big focus as to why you might see there's some potential, and kind of like, what do you stand for? What do they stand for? Does it feel like a good match? But the benefits, of course, are that you get to expand the audience. So this this company has this level, this level of followers and access and interest, and your business has their own, and now we're kind of introducing each other. So it's a potential opportunity for both organizations as they partner up. And this could be something where it's, co-hosting an event or a class or something special. So if someone's really like tied deeply to the field, you could certainly, offer some things together. But if maybe it's more, they offer things for sale that feels like it would be a good fit. It could be something where you're more thinking about referrals. And so, if you use this, this person's name when you're going to check out, or they mention the business, they'll get some kind of discount perhaps. So it's kind of encouraging people to cross over from one business to the other and, check it out. Again, you're probably not looking at some kind of direct competition. We're looking at someone who could be, just like a partner in a little different sense. So you're probably not going to sign up with someone who's offering competitive classes. You're probably looking at someone who does something in the same realm as you, but not quite. So if, a big focus of your business is health and wellness and fitness, then, maybe working with a nutritionist would be a great idea. Maybe if you do a lot of intense training, and there's certainly potential for people to need a little extra support, maybe partnering up with a physical therapist or an office in your area might be a great way to kind of connect your business and theirs. And that might be something where there's a lot more overlap than you might think. You could also look at some kind of health or fitness store in your area, where that might just be, perfectly matched up with what you're in tune to do. And maybe there's some kind of gift bag or offering if you're hosting a special event. Maybe you're doing it at their location or with their employees. Could be a fun way to get involved. You could also look at partnering with kind of places where you could work with different demographics. So maybe a school or an after school program. If you're looking to work with children, maybe that's not the point of your regular classes, but by partnering with that kind of organization, you have an opportunity to kind of, again, meet some other needs and get more involved in the community. Could also look at a senior center. So being able to go to them and run classes for them might be a great way to kind of expand your reach, offer a totally different revenue stream from your regular on-location classes. Could be completely different. And also corporate partnerships. We do have quite a few users in PunchPass who've been working it out with different larger companies in their area. And this is a really great way to build some revenue, because usually it's a pretty straight up premium fee for the company to pay you to be able to run some fitness classes on location for them. It's a benefit and a perk for their employees, and they're usually willing to compensate really fairly for that. So another way to kind of bring in some revenue that's not exactly directly tied to your regular classes, but could certainly lead to people finding out about you and your business and taking more of your classes outside of the workplace as well. So definitely kind of a fun idea there. Really like a lot of different ways to get involved with different parts of the community. I think it's such an awesome opportunity. So in terms of revenue, in terms of things that we can think about, we really hope this has kind of given you some ideas, and maybe not everything on here makes sense for your particular business or what you offer, but you might find that, oh, well, I really like the idea of, reaching out to someone in the community and working with them, and how could I make that work for me? Just by expanding and just by exploring different options, we're just building up more opportunities for you to have consistent revenue, for you to have different streams of revenue, so that if anything's going on in another area, if you have an instructor leave and they're the only ones who teach that particular type of class, you have other types of classes that are going to help pick up the slack while you're in that sort of in-between times. There's just some more opportunities to get involved and to, promote yourself outside of your regular classes. And, we really want people to start exploring those if you're looking for additional revenue, if you're feeling a little bit stuck in the same routines and patterns. It's just a way to really shift things around and hopefully bring some excitement to you and ideally some bigger payments coming your way. So definitely, hopefully some of these have given you a little spark of inspiration, and you'll kind of think about what might happen. Feel free to let us know if anything kind of stems from this. If you get any ideas and you start working with someone and it's working out for you, we'd love to hear about it. But I also wanted to mention that we touched on a lot of different topics today, and we touched on a lot of different topics that we've covered in much more detail before. So things like memberships, things like the content library, things like appointments. We've run a lot of different webinars previously that really get into the nitty-gritty of setting those up, of the benefits, examples. So if you're ever interested or kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into any of those topics, if you head to punchpass.com/webinars, you can navigate to it from our website. You should be able to see a lot of different overviews and options that you might want to check out. We've done a lot of marketing ones, done a lot on different features within PunchPass. So if you're looking for a little bit more information or something really specific there, definitely check it out. But I think we might have gotten a question. Oh, nope, just a thank you. Well, thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate it. If anyone has any questions though, I'd be happy to take them now. I'll give you a minute or two to write into the chat and let us know. It's also right if you don't have questions, you can also feel free to write in, reach out to us on our support team. You can find us on any of our public web pages or from the homepage of your PunchPass account. There's our little chat box is in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can reach out to us anytime. You can also email us. Support@punchpass.com is where you can reach our team, and we'll be happy to help out. If any questions do come up as you're working on something or as you're setting something up in the system, please feel free to let us know if you have questions or want us to check it out. We're happy to give our recommendations there as well. So I think everyone might be pretty happy with the content. We don't really have any questions. That's perfectly fine. Again, reach out if anything does come up. But I just wanted to thank you all so much for coming in and checking out our revenue stream webinar. We're really excited about the opportunities that you have, both in your community and by using PunchPass. So if you do have any questions or anything comes up down the road, let us know. But thank you so much for coming on and joining us today, or joining us as a recording later. We appreciate it. And thank you so much. Everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you again soon.